So, some of you may not know much about Monster. They are a boutique manufacturer of laptops located in Turkey. They offer laptops for businesses to entertainment and, of course, gaming. Now, each one is pre-customized unlike electronics, but they offer a repacing services and up to 2 years warranty and lifetime free maintenance service as stated on their website. So since there are many English reviews about this brand in particular, I have decided to make this video and give it a long-term review. The laptop uses a chassis from a company called Tongfang. It's a bare bone chassis and a lot of other companies will use the same chassis to sell different configuration of the device like Aftershock in Australia and electronics in the United States. So let's check it out and see why it's an interesting laptop you should consider if you live in Turkey. The dimensions are similar to other 17-inch laptop and the weight is 2.5 kg with a 180 watt power adapter. So the model I have is a Tulpar T7. It has a 9th Gen 6-core 9750H CPU, a 16GB of RAM in dual channel, 256GB SSD, a 1660 Ti graphics card, and 144Hz 1080p matte LED display for $1,400. The body uses a magnesium alloy. It looks and feels nice and sturdy with the Monster logo on the back that lights up with the color accent of green only. As expected, the chassis catches smudges and fingerprints, but they're easy to wipe out. The hinge is smooth and feels durable, but the screen is a little bouncy for my taste. The thin size panel is sharp and bright, and it has a good color accuracy of 96 of sRGB, and it has a 325 nits at 100% brightness, with a webcam located up top. The 144Hz will deliver a silky smooth experience with a 9 millisecond response time, which isn't bad at all. Air comes through the large vents underneath, which are positioned above the fans. It then gets exhausted out of the left and right sides towards the back, as well as from the back corners. For the port selection, on the right you have GPU heatsink and a 2 USB Type-A port, an SD card reader, and on the left you have a CPU heatsink, exhaust, an Ethernet jack, a USB port, and a separate mic and headphone jack. Jumping on the back, we actually have two display ports, 1.4, an HDMI 2.0, a USB 3.1 Type-C, but it doesn't support Thunderbolt 3, but I'm content with this port selection on this device. The keyboard deck is made out of aluminum with a soft touch of rubber coating that feels nice, but it does show fingerprints. A massive trackpad made out of plastic, but it feels very nice. It also uses Windows precision drivers. In case you accidentally press it, you can disable it by double pressing the top left corner. The mechanical keyboard is nice and spacious with the hexagon shaped keys. You get a good distance of travel with a good feedback and somehow it's satisfying to click. I think most people will get used to it relatively quickly. The keys are RGB backlit and it's fully customizable via control center software. You can use individual color for each key or choose one of several default patterns. You can adjust the speed and brightness of the effect. At the front of the laptop there is a subtle RGB bar and it can be turned off easily should you wish. The control center software controls the power limits of the CPU and GPU. All three modes can be toggled with the physical button next to the power button. The office mode is base power setting of 35 watts, within which you can select Eco mode to extend the battery life as it says. Game mode sets the power draw to 45 watts with an increase to power to GPU. And finally, the Beast mode sets the power to 120 watts. This is a lot of power and takes some cooling, but the benefit is great boost clock. And just like Acer Helios 300, this laptop comes with the CPU undervolt of -50 out of the box, and this helps the temperatures to stay low, which is good. Stress testing with the 3D Mark Firestrokes, and we have a great results of 14.5K that goes neck to neck with the RTX 2060. As we can see here with the Turbo Boost enabled at a constant 4 GHz about 83 degrees. So we do see a great performance and thermals even with relatively high room temperature. So let's see now how this laptop performs in games. I have taken real-time footage instead of using capture software to demonstrate the actual performance without any background layouts. Red Dead Redemption 2 performs really well since it uses more graphical power than the CPU power. I have tuned the graphics settings to have the best performance to quality optimizations. Great results of visuals. In my opinion, this is the best looking game I've ever laid my eyes on so far. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is another AAA title. As expected, this game draws more wattage since it uses a good combination of CPU and GPU together. The game is nicely optimized since launch. Playing around with the graphics settings here and there, and I'm able to nearly hit 130 to 140 FPS depending on the scene. Paired that with a fast screen, it's nothing but an eye candy. You won't be able to see the smoothness through the video since it's captured by 60 frames. Control is another game tested without RTX on, but the option for enabling RTX is available. But since the 1660 Ti doesn't support RTX, enabling it will lead to a massive hit in performance. With high settings, the game looks nice and smooth with an average FPS of 70 to 80. Doom Eternal is an incredibly well optimized game. It's hard to believe a game can look this good and run this well at the same time, but somehow they pulled it off. The game is maxed out at Ultra Nightmare, and yes, it's not a difficulty level. So moving on, I've come across two things that I dislike about this laptop. The first are the speakers. They're just mediocre. They're located at the bottom, so they're positionally really bad, and I have an issue just being really quiet. I don't know if it's a software or a hardware thing, but they're just quiet to the point where I can't watch YouTube or Netflix without using headphones. The Sound Blaster software is supposed to improve the sound quality, but somehow there's an issue with its installing where I can't get it to work. Here is a quick audio test to showcase what I'm talking about. So, in conclusion, how would I sum up the Tulpar 17? Well, I'm really impressed with the performance. I think it's a great laptop when it comes to cooling and thermals, with a nice mechanical keyboard, RGB lighting, and a fast 144Hz color accurate display. Overall, it's a good static laptop. So the other thing that I don't like about this laptop is the battery. It's a 47 watts hour on a 17-inch screen. All in all, this laptop will get you around 2 to 3 hours maximum at best, which is quite expected from a gaming laptop. When it comes to trackpad, sure, a glass unit would be better, but I've had no issues using this one overall. It's a very little to complain about. I'm not nitpicking at this point, but the speaker is a little turn off, as I said. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like the video if you liked it, and have a good one.